Hey, what's up, guys? Today, I want to discuss what I would have done differently in my journey from undergraduate nursing to medical school. So, when I started working as a nurse, working with physicians every day was actually pretty challenging, right? It was almost upsetting. It's like I could see the role that I wanted to be in one day and I would work hand in hand, but I was so far away from getting there. And it almost felt like a constant taunt of you have so much work to do and so much time to put in before you get here. But I also was able to look at it another way. And that was using it as a continuous daily motivation to work hard, right? To put the effort in, to remain disciplined, to get to where I want to go. So it's all about how you frame it. It's all about the filter that you look through. There was definitely times when I wished that I was a classic pre-med. Bio pre-med in undergrad, take the MCAT, maybe do a year or two of scribing, get into medical school, boom. But was always from a place of regret. And it was really easy to do, right? It's really easy to look back and say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, and so make my life easier. But, oh my gosh, newsflash, you can't change the past, right? So what do? You accept it, you appreciate what you've learned from it, and you move forward. How can I affect today, tomorrow, and the future? That's all you can do. So once I was able to get rid of that thinking, it was what do I do now? And that's how I was able to get to where I am. Right? Nursing has given me so much, and I'm truly grateful for my experience as a nurse. And we could talk about this a long time, but at the end of the day, it gave me the opportunity to function in medicine at its most foundational level of patient care, right? I was able to spend intimate time with patients in their most vulnerable times. I became comfortable in stressful and challenging and new situations. And again, it has just done so much for me. And I can only imagine how my experience as a nurse is going to shape the type of physician that I am. A couple other nice things about being a nurse in undergrad and doing what I did is I got to avoid what people would call the toxic pre-med culture. From a lot of my friends that I go to school with, they were pre-meds in undergrad, depending where you go, depending how competitive it is, they said it's pretty rough. It is cutthroat. Almost the opposite of what we're trying to create in the medical field and as a family and as a whole entire unit. So I think that's kind of funny. Other thing I like to tease my classmates about is I never had to take organic chemistry, which is probably not going to be the same for everybody watching this video. But they all tell me it was like the hardest class in pre-med. So, that's nice right there. I got to avoid the hardest class, so it's kind of funny. And I will say I'm excelling in medical school. So maybe you could have the argument, with just the N of one, but is organic chemistry really necessary for medical school? No, I'm kidding. That's not for me to argue, and I wouldn't know enough. But for me, I'd have to say probably not. So now we're going to discuss what would I have done differently. So it's funny. I think in my fourth year of nursing school, I was an OB, and I passed the class by probably 0.5 points. I got like a 70.5. And I remember calling my mom saying, what am I supposed to do? I'll have to do a whole nother year. And she said, Pat, you can just go take the prereqs. And I was like, that is the best idea. You're so right. Part of me was almost hoping I failed so I could just go take the prereqs because I really felt like I knew he wanted to be a doctor. However, I ended up passing that class, so finished my degree with no prereqs, which was fine. But what I would have done in hindsight, looking back, is found a way to integrate those prereqs into my nursing curriculum, right? Now, that's a perfect world. I don't know how feasible it would have been. Nursing school is challenging, but ultimately it's time consuming. You only have so much time in the day, and you can't just create slots to fit classes in. So that would have been the biggest barrier to that for me. However, if it was doable, and if I was mature enough and driven enough to actually get good grades in those classes, that would have been the ideal situation. So I could have graduated nursing, had all my prerequisites, only have had to worry about the MCAT while working as a nurse. Would have made my life a lot easier. So that's what I would have done differently. Now, the question is, what should you do? And this is a really tough question. And I'm not making these videos to give you the perfect step-by-step roadmap. I'm trying to give you my journey so that you can find similarities to where you are. You can draw from it. You can incorporate stuff into your journey. My point is, I can't tell you exactly what to do, but I will just give a few thoughts. If you are a nurse, you went through your undergrad nursing, similar situation to what I found myself in. I don't have any of the prereqs. I need to get some. I need to learn how to study for the MCAT. I need to take the MCAT. You may have to take a similar route that I took, and you can look at my past videos to get a more in-depth knowledge on the route that I took. If you are in nursing school, and depending what year you are, right? Are you in clinicals yet? Are you not in clinicals yet? The question that you kind of have to ask yourself is, do you want to continue with your nursing degree, right? I told you already that I wouldn't change my nursing degree. I'm glad that I was an undergrad nurse. I'm glad I got the experience as a nurse. To me, it was the path that I needed to be on, where I can mature, right? Where I can pick up skills that is gonna help me be the best physician I can be. But you have to make that decision for yourself. And if you want to stay in nursing school and use that as a bridge to medical school, do your gap years as a nurse, which I think is phenomenal, then see if you can incorporate classes into your curriculum, which would be awesome. And if you can do that, like I mentioned, you'll graduate with your prereqs, take the MCAT, crush it, and go from there. So those are kind of my thoughts, and I hope that helps a couple of you guys. If you have any questions or you have any thoughts, if you want to discuss the place that you're in, and not only with me, but everybody else that's watching these videos, leave it in the comments, and we'll talk about it, okay? So hope everyone's having a great day, and see you in the next video. All right, peace and love.